Before Amazon, before Apple, there was one man who rewrote the rules of business. John D. Rockefeller didn't just build an oil company, he built the blueprint for corporate power in America. John D. Rockefeller and his partners founded the Standard Oil Company in Ohio in 1870. The company quickly grew by acquiring competitors starting in the Cleveland, Ohio area, using a combination of strategic purchases and ruthless tactics to eliminate its rivals. This eventually consolidated all of the separate oil entities under one Standard Oil umbrella trust. Standard Oil used its immense size to negotiate heavily discounted shipping rates with the railroads, while also pressuring its competitors through various means. In 1882, the companies were combined into the Standard Oil Trust to manage the near monopoly on oil production, refining, and marketing in the United States. And by 1878, Standard Oil controlled about 90% of the nation's oil refineries, and by 1880 it controlled roughly 95% of the country's oil output. Standard Oil's influence was spreading, controlling nearly all of the oil production, processing, marketing, and transportation within the United States. Standard Oil used its size to bully around smaller competitors and negotiate favorable deals with other businesses that further allowed it to dominate the oil market. Those practices included predatory pricing. Standard Oil would lower its prices to unprofitably low levels in areas where smaller competitors operated with the goal of driving them out of business. Secret railroad rebates. The company secured secret preferential pricing from railroads, which dramatically lowered its transportation costs compared to its rivals. This gave it a massive unfair advantage in the oil market. Forced acquisitions. Standard Oil used its dominant position to force smaller, independent companies to sell their operations to them on unfavorable terms, as they were often unable to compete with the artificially low prices. Over time, this growth and influence spread to more than just the oil industry. This famous political cartoon of the Standard Oil octopus that was created by Udo J. Kepler in 1904 symbolizes Standard Oil's monopolistic power and its alleged control over American politics and industry through its numerous tentacles. The octopus's large body represents the massive size of the Standard Oil monopoly, which controlled a huge portion of the oil industry and stretched across the nation. Its tentacles are shown wrapped around and choking various industries like steel, copper, and shipping, signifying Standard Oil's dominance over the production and supply chain. The cartoon famously depicts tentacles reaching into and crushing political buildings, such as the White House and the Capitol, to symbolize the fear that the company was using bribery and other tactics to influence government officials and prevent anti-monopoly legislation. The image also suggests that Standard Oil crushed smaller competitors, represented by the men being choked or killed by the tentacles, through its aggressive and oftentimes immoral business practices. Public dissent grew, and the federal government filed a lawsuit against Standard Oil in 1906, accusing it of violating the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890. The Standard Oil Company of New Jersey, which was a subsegment of the larger trust, versus the United States government case went to the Supreme Court, which in 1911 declared Standard Oil to be an illegal monopoly, citing its monopolistic and anti-competitive actions reviewed earlier in the video. The court ordered the company to be broken up into 34 standalone companies, many of which we still recognize today, or their remnants are large contributing segments of modern-day oil companies. Examples include Standard Oil of New Jersey, which became Exxon, and Standard Oil of New York, which became Mobil. Marathon Oil, and other spun-off components comprising companies such as ConocoPhillips and BP. John D. Rockefeller didn't just build an oil company. He built a blueprint for American capitalism. Standard Oil redefined how business was done, setting the stage for efficiency, vertical integration, and corporate power on a scale the world had never seen before. But that success came at a cost. Competition crushed, markets controlled, and a nation forced to ask, how much power is too much? When the U.S. government broke up Standard Oil in 1911, it didn't just dismantle a monopoly. It created the foundation of modern antitrust law and the balance between innovation and regulation that still shapes our economy today. Rockefeller's legacy is complicated. Was he a visionary entrepreneur? Or was he a ruthless monopolist? Maybe he was both. But one thing's for sure, Standard Oil didn't just fuel America's engines, it ignited the era of big business. If you found value in the content of this video, like and subscribe. This is your Supply Chain Pro, out.